What's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here. Got another Northwest podcast for you tonight. Going to be talking about some red pill subjects, and I want to talk specifically to the young men out there, right? Now, it's good to have wisdom. It's good to learn, even if it's objective knowledge. Unfortunately, a lot of us older guys, we've had to learn, the hard way. We've had to learn personally, and a lot of us didn't discover the red pill. We didn't discover wisdom and these kind of truths until way after the fact. This type of information wasn't taught in schools. This type of information was not found in libraries. This type of information was just not out there until the internet came along, okay? So, a lot of us don't have an older brother. We don't have an older uncle. We don't have a dad who went through this kind of stuff. A lot of people just kind of out there spinning their wheels. They don't really know what they're doing. They don't really know a whole lot. So I want to speak to you guys. I want to speak to you young guys. And unfortunately, a lot of young guys are pretty skeptic. A lot of young guys are pretty, headstrong, and they want to, they think they know, and they want to go learn for themselves. And I'm probably not speaking to those guys. Speaking to guys who, have a little bit of wisdom, young guys who, are open for instruction. Not to say that I'm trying to teach or, say this is how you should do it or anything like that. I just want to give you my experience, and I just want to give you some, warnings, from that perspective. So with that said, the topic of today's discussion is going to be a female's looks, okay? Her beauty, her sexiness, her prettiness, right? Well, there's a whole lot to unpack here. There's a whole lot to uncover. And I think this is some real fundamental stuff. This is some real fundamental red pill ideology, red pill concepts here, which is that a female's looks are very central to who she is. I don't care how much feminism tries to say, women are empowered, women can do anything a man can do, all this rhetoric that we hear from feminism. I don't care about it because it's not true in the sense that it's not how women really behave. It's not how women really act, right? Feminism can say anything. They can lay out all kinds of tenets, all kinds of ideologies and philosophies and rules, even, if you will. But I don't care about any of that. What I care about is what a woman does. I care about how she actually acts. And you should too. You should too. You should care about tangible things, real life things, not hypothetical things, not philosophical things, not ideological things, not definitions, right? It's good to wax philosophical every once in a while. It's good to say, well, what if things like this and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, in real life, sometimes it's good to be a realist. Sometimes it's good to, call things what they really are, right? So what are looks to a woman? What is a woman's prettiness? What is that really to a woman? It's very central to a woman. It's very much who she is. It's very much, part of her essence. And I believe, from my observations, from my 30-something years, living on this earth, right? I believe that biology plays a big role in that. And I believe that, from the human species standpoint, from a nature standpoint, from a survival standpoint, females have evolved, or it's just the way they are. They are attractive, right? A lot of men are not attractive. A lot of men just aren't attractive. Now, I don't know. I'm a guy, so I'm not a woman, so I can't really look at men and be like, oh, I'm attracted to that guy, blah, blah, blah. Like, most men are just really not that attractive because I don't believe that we have adapted that way. I don't believe that we have, as far as the survival of our species, I don't believe that that's something that, how we've adapted to be good looking. Like a lot of guys are, there's good looking guys out there. But I believe for the most part, most guys are not good looking. And I believe there's a reason for this. I believe that men don't have to be necessarily good looking. I mean, it matters. Yes, it absolutely matters. And this is why most of the guys who actually get laid regularly are good looking. And that's just common sense, right? That stands to reason. And you know, in a sense, you can't really fault women for that. In a sense, I mean, you can, but the reason why women are hypocrites for sleeping, well, first of all, you know, we'd have to get into a whole discussion about why sleeping around is bad, which obviously it is, because STDs, unwanted pregnancies, broken hearts, you know, the reduced ability to pair bond eventually later in life for women and men to a lesser extent, but mostly for women, right? Those are reasons why sleeping around is bad. But the reason why I fault women for sleeping with the best looking guys is because women try to say this crap about, you know, at least they used to. They haven't so much, but they used to try to say this crap about, you know, like me for who I really am. I'm more than just some tits and an ass, right? Which is pure uncut hypocrisy, because they're the ones who are putting out these selfies. They're the ones who are, you know, making thirst posts and et cetera, right? You know, a female, you know, again, and this ties back into what I'm talking about, which is that a female's essence is tied to her looks. It's tied to her sexuality. Most women, some do, but most don't. Most women cannot come outside, you know, what most women are, what most women, you know, their, you know, like I said, their essence, like who they really are, like what they represent, part of who they are, their identity is wrapped up in sexuality. Most women can't and don't, and really don't even want, most women don't even want to come outside of you know, their sexuality, which is, you know, a representation of their of their identity, right? Most women won't even want to come out of that because it doesn't benefit them, right? Most women would be like, well, why do I want to think? Why do I want, you know, why do I want to philosophize? Why do I want to be active and take part in activities? Why do I want to have an identity or self-worth or respect, etc., outside of my sexuality? Why? Why do I want to do that? Because it doesn't benefit them. So why would they want to? And this is where it ties into solipsism, right? Solipsistic women do not care about anything outside of sexuality because sexuality is their bread and butter. It's what gets them things in life. It's what advances their careers. It's what advances, you know, their lifestyle, right? Why do all these gorgeous, beautiful models flock to superstars like Leonardo DiCaprio and Shaq and blah, 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 right? Why do they all go hang out on these guys' yachts? Why do they all take selfies? And, you know, to somewhat, Facebook and social media has died down a lot in the last, I'd say, 3 years. I've noticed. But before that, it was just saturated with selfies and duck faces and women in bikinis and thirst posts where women would post up pictures of themselves. I mean, that is the damaged ego. That is the ego in regression, right? I need this attention. I have no self-esteem unless guys are telling me I'm beautiful. Like, that's just pride. That's just saturated pride, right? That is just pride multiplied by 1,000, right? Oh, I'm such a bad bitch. I have so much self-worth because so many guys want to have sex with me. It's disgusting, right? Like, I mean, as far as like anything worthwhile in life goes, like, sure, sex is fun. It's great. Like, cool. I wish women were, you know, posting, hey sexy, hey beautiful, blah, blah, blah. On my post, they don't, but I wish they did. Like, I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, like, that's not what feminism was supposed to be about. And really, that's not what life is about. Like, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want my daughter's self-worth, to be wrapped up in all her, you know, Twitter posts or her Instagram where she's just, you know, look at my tits. And like, that's just disgusting. Like, who would want that for their daughter? Let alone like for your daughter to have an OnlyFans or for your daughter to have a porn career, like horrible, right? I mean, as a parent, as a human being, you wouldn't want that. But there's a part of us that's like, yeah, I like sexy girls. I want to get my dick wet. I want to get my dick sucked. Like, I love big tits. It's great. There's something within our, you could call it mammalian brain or our reptilian brain, right? There's something there, obviously. And it's being exploited, okay? It is being exploited by women who want to make money, who want attention, who get something out of teasing us, right? So this is part of sexuality. And I believe I don't think that it's really supposed to be that way. Now, here's what I think it is supposed to be like. I do believe it's tied into replication or procreation. I do believe that women have adapted to be beautiful for the most part, right? There's always those ugly women. I think it's more common for women to be good looking than it is for them to be ugly. That's just I don't know any statistics on that. I don't know, but it seems like more women have adapted to be beautiful physically than anything else. Whereas men have adapted to be earners. Men have adapted to be workers. Men have adapted to, be smart, problem solve, figure things out, build things, right? For the most part, women have not. And this is part of what makes the difference in sex is great. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing that, women are more emotional, they're more nurturing to help raise the kids, right? And men are more rational, reasonable, lawgivers, right? Earners, like that is kind of, there's a harmony there, right? That is copacetic with the other. One is copacetic with the other, right? So what feminism did is it came along and it said, oh no, you can do anything a man can do, blah, blah, blah. And then it removes stigma for sexuality, blah, 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 which is contradictory, right? Because men don't, get money for sex. Men don't, use sex as leverage to get things that they want in life, but women do. And feminism says this is okay. Like, you're empowered in your sexuality, right? Yet at the same time, hypocritically and contradictory, it says that women are not to be viewed as objects. What? Even though you just objectified yourself, you just said through your sexuality you're empowered, which technically isn't objectifying yourself. It's saying my empowerment is through sexuality, right? But I believe women don't really need feminism to do this anyways. Women don't need feminism to empower themselves through sexuality. I believe they do that naturally. I believe women use sex as a leverage tool. And this is something I've always said on my channel. This is something that has been at the core of my red pill learning, my red pill ideology and philosophy. From what I see everywhere, women use sexuality. Now, are there exceptions? Yes. Do women use sexuality, but they also want to be viewed for something other than sexuality? Yes, it's all of it. It's all of it. It's not all women. Not all women are doing it, but women do it naturally. I don't even think they need to cognitively choose to do it, right? I don't think they even need to do that. I think that it's just something that they do, period. I think that it comes very natural to them. Women play hard to get. Women play games, and the sexuality aspect is central to that, right? Women use sexuality to get what they want. They know they're the object of men's desires. They know men want them. They know that. So what do? They leverage it to get what they want. And then this plays into hypergamy. So all of it is connected, right? If you say, what do women want, right? Well, women want a high value man, period. That's what women want. They want a high value man who can offer them something, offer them a lifestyle, offer them money, offer them happiness vicariously through his ability to provide resources. This is what women want. And they use sexuality to get it. So when we say, what is sexuality when it comes to women? It's central. It's a part of their nature, right? This is what they've always done. And yes, it's a part of survival. It's a part of the human species surviving. It's a part and an aspect of our improvement as humans, right? It's all part of it, because if women weren't expecting the highest from men, if they weren't expecting the most high value man, men probably wouldn't have the initiative and the ambition to be more successful, right? So really, it kind of helps society in a way. But here's the caveat. Here's the caveat to all that, right? So yes, it's beneficial. Yes, it pushes forward society. Yes, it matters in a good way in that sense, as far as, improvement of society in general is concerned. But here's the caveat. The problem is that female hypergamy does not give way to love, real genuine love, right? Because real genuine love is unconditional. Real genuine love is loyal, it's supportive when the person that you love is going through hard times. Now, can you fall out of love with somebody? Yes, but hypergamy, it's not really the same thing. Right now, if a woman loves a man, he has got no money, he's a bum, he's an alcoholic, she sticks with him for 5 or 10 years, and finally she just gets so fed up and he never changes, like, I got some leeway for that. Like, you're with him for 5 or 10 years, okay. But here's how women really behave. Here's how women really act, and this is from my experience. She wants you only when you're winning, right? If you're not on top, if you're not winning, if you're not successful, popular, going forward in life, you're not the top guy in your field, she don't want you. And when you are, when you show some signs of being successful, when you show those signs of being the alpha dog, and this is why guys are always like, how to be more alpha, how to be more masculine, how to be buffer, how to be more rich. This is why, because we want women, and women require the highest value man, period, right? And here's the real problem. The real problem is guys don't understand that. And this is why I want to talk to the young guys. You guys need to understand that. That is female nature, right? So unless you find one who's with you when you're a loser, who's with you when you're bumming out, and she really loves you, and that does happen. It can happen, and it does happen. It's just rare, right? I've seen it happen. It's just rare. For the most part, nah. Right? For the most part, no. Women can talk a good game about, oh, I want somebody to love me for who I really am. I want that special guy, right? She doesn't want that special guy. She doesn't want that guy to love her for who she really is. What she really wants is she wants a high value man, period. She wants a high value man. There's a picture on the internet of Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's got like 10 models all around him. And he's sitting there, he's got this beard, and he's not buff or anything. He's Leonardo DiCaprio, right? I don't even think Leonardo DiCaprio was even that great looking of a guy. But he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He was in Titanic. He did a whole bunch of movies. He's a famous, rich movie star. He's not even that great looking. He's just a skinny dude, right? But he's got status. He's got money, right? And yeah, people think he's good looking, but that's not what he's known for. Brad Pitt, okay, he's known for his looks. He's not an amazing actor. He's just a gorgeous man, right? Same with Jason Momoa, right? Or Jason Statham. These guys are just, good-looking dudes who are kind of hunky and buff and whatever, right? Leonardo DiCaprio is actually a very great actor. He plays great roles, makes great movies. That's why he's famous and he has status. This is why he's allowed. This is why the most beautiful women on the world will go for this dude. Will not even go for him, but they will settle for being one of his 10 hoes. They will settle for being one woman out of 10 or 20 that he might only be with for that weekend. I was watching this video on Magic Johnson about, it's a recent YouTube video uploaded about 8 months ago, something like that. So pretty recent, talking about how many sexual encounters Magic Johnson had. And they boiled it down to him sleeping with, on average, probably about 12 women a day. Every day for about 10 years or something like that. And I think someone once said that Wilt Chamberlain slept with like 10,000 women. And when I first heard that, I was like, nah, no way. That's not possible. And then when I saw this Magic Johnson video, I was like, well, wait a minute. That might actually be true. Because because he said after every game or after everywhere he went, there would be 20 women, 20 to 30, sometimes even 40 or 50 women, literally the hottest women in the city, whatever city he was playing in, would be waiting for him to sleep with him outside of his games. Now, if you think about that, what does that mean? What is that? That's hypergamy. That's female nature. This is what you have to pay attention to. This is why I always say, don't pay attention to what a woman says. Pay attention to what a woman does. Don't pay attention to what women as a whole say. Oh, I respect women, therefore I believe you. No, believe what you see, not what somebody says, right? Believe the behavior, not their little quips or their little maxims. That's all bullshit. So what is the behavior? The behavior of a woman is waiting outside Magic Johnson, right? And I guess that's how he got AIDS. Okay, so it is what it is. But this is female nature. And what guy wouldn't take advantage of that? You know, I'm not blaming Magic Johnson. I don't blame the guys. I don't blame Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not mad at them. Some women are. Some women are like, oh, why do you sleep around? Why do you sleep around? Because you have access to it. Because women have access to dick anywhere they want, anytime they want, anywhere they go. Men simply do not. It's the opposite, right? So who has more responsibility, the man or the woman? It's whoever has the access to it has the most responsibility. If men don't have access to sex, I'm not mad if a man has sex. I don't care at all, because good for him, because he doesn't get it ever. But when a woman has a lot of sex, I'm a little upset about that. Why? Because she has access to it. It's easy for her to do it, so she should have more responsibility. Particularly if she's talking about men. Particularly if she's saying, oh, well, men this and men that. Men need to, I don't like it when men cheat. I don't like it when men sleep around, blah, blah. But yet you do it, so you're a hypocrite, right? You're the one who has the most access to sex. And also, you're the one who chooses the top 10% of guys. You're the one who chooses these high-value, high-profile guys because that's what you're attracted to. And if you think about it, all it is female nature. Like, why wouldn't she be attracted to that guy? Because he's the highest value. This is why all women want to have sex with him, because he has high value, right? If you think about it, it is what it is, right? And this is the core of like game, PUA, pickup artistry. It's the core of it is to raise your value as a man, make yourself more attractive, right? Wear better clothes, dress better, be more in shape, be better groomed, and learn how to convey yourself as if you are an attractive man. Convey yourself as if you are high value, because this is what women really want. It is tapped into the secret code of female nature. And what is that? It's that women want a high value man, right? So how do they get that? They use their sexuality. So if you think about it, if a woman is using her sexuality in order to procure a high value man, she can't just give out her sexuality to anyone, right? She has to hoard that resource, and she has to make that resource a commodity, meaning she has to put a price tag on it. She has to market that commodity, right? And it's not a cheap commodity. Men work their whole lives to get it, right? But unfortunately, and again, I touched on this earlier, how I said this has helped, forward humanity, in the sense that men have worked harder, right? Because it is a competition. It was Oscar Wilde who said, he has a great quote, I think it's a famous quote. He says, everything in life is, or everything in the world is about sex, except sex. Sex is about power. That's an Oscar Wilde quote. Everything in the world is about sex, except sex. Sex is about power, right? Think about that. So that means everything, these nice houses, these nice careers, these nice jobs, these nice clothes, these nice homes, these nice lifestyles, these comfortable lifestyles. It's all about sex. Why? Because we all want comfort. We all want nice lifestyles. We all want enough money to live comfortably, right? So, and women want this. So what's a woman going to do? Is she going to go marry some bummy guy who works at a gas station, who can barely afford a one-bedroom apartment? Is she going to do that? Or is she going to go live with this guy who's got a nice house down by the beach? Is she going to go live with this guy who owns his home, who runs $1 million business? What's she going to do? Right? She wants comfort. She wants a better lifestyle. So she's not going to go choose that guy who works at a gas station. She's going to choose the guy who has the money, right? So this is what that quote means. Sex is about power, right? So whoever has the power, whoever has the nice lifestyle, who can provide the nice resources, is the one who's going to get the sex. And women are using sex as a power tool in order to get that. So women, more than anyone else, know that their pussy is powerful. They know that. Right? There's a song in the 1980s. This girl's like, I know what boys want. Boys want me. Right? It's true. What do guys want? Guys want women. Right? Guys want women. What do we want? We want sex. That's at a core of who we are. So what is sex to a woman? Sex is everything to a woman. Right? So you kind of got to feel sorry for these ugly women. Right? They're just like men. You know, as far as feminism is concerned, they should pay attention to the ugly women, because the ugly women are the ones who are really the most like men. I've met many of them throughout my life. It's a whole different ballgame. They think differently, they act differently, right? And I've met some of them who weren't that attractive when they were younger, and then they became more attractive as they got older, and they changed. Because if you're a woman, your sexuality is a power tool. It's a key to a whole different world. It opens up a whole different world for you, right? If you can, capture your sexuality and use it to get what you want in life. I mean, this is the woman's ultimate dream. This is why thousands and hundreds of thousands of women are doing OnlyFans, they're doing porn. They're doing these, webcam sites. Why? Because there's power in that. There's money in that. To use sex, they don't care if they're a whore. Like, it used to be like a disrespectful thing. It used to be like, oh, I could never be a whore. Like, now it's like power. Feminism has done that. But I don't think feminism really had to work that hard to do it, because I think this is already part of female nature. Women have already been doing that. It's what they do. It's part of who they are. It's part of how they get a husband. They're leveraging sexuality. So sex is very essential for a woman, right? Who she is and her person, her essence is largely founded and, has its core essential in sex, right? So young guys need to understand that. That is a really crucial red pill. That is a really crucial, that's a very, very crucial truth that young guys need to understand. And here's the other thing. Don't get caught up in it, right? Don't get caught up in it. Now, there's a part of us, we just want to fuck. There's a part of guys that sex is huge. Sex is a huge part of life for everyone. It just is. You have to realize this, and particularly in the USA, in America, because our background is no sex before marriage. That's a bad thing. This is why porn is so popular in the USA, because of our background of, sex being off limits, right? And many of us, and I would say rightly so, many of us have sort of a prudishness about us, particularly, sort of opposite to how it is in Europe, right? Where they're very much more laissez-faire and open about their sexuality. Like, sex is not as big a deal over there than it is over here, because over here women have capitalized on sex, right? It's a commodity because we just don't get it. But over there, it's kind of more casual. It's more chill, like it's not the same thing. Okay. So particularly with our history, right, of no sex and you can't be perverted, and like it's almost like when you say something is off limits, people just want that thing more, right? Like, I never really cared about drugs. I never wanted to do drugs until I had DARE classes. They're like, don't do drugs. It's like, yeah, that made me want to do drugs more. Like, well, wait a minute. Why are they telling me not? I want to try these things, right? It's this weird psychological thing. We want sex more. Sex is more popular because we're not supposed to do it. We're not supposed to have it. Remember when that I don't know if you guys remember, but, well, you guys are probably too young. I'm talking to the young guys, but there was this website called Ashley Madison. And it was an affair website, or kind of a swinger website, but it's like, don't get caught. Like, come on here and you can cheat on your husband. And I think it was like 2014. I can't remember the year, but they exposed it. It might even have been before that. It might have been 2011. They hacked it. Somebody hacked the Ashley Madison website. And they uncovered like 14,000 or 20,000 accounts of people, maybe even more than that, maybe like 50 or 60,000 accounts of cheaters, people who were trying to have affairs, extramarital affairs, and not get caught. That's what the whole website was about. It was about extramarital affairs, right? It's called Ashley Madison. Ashley Madison. Google it. That's what it was about, man. People want to cheat. People want to have sex, right? And women do too, but they understand that sex is a power tool. It's a means to an end, right? So young guys need to understand this. Don't be fooled by that. Don't just chase a woman for her sex, for her sexuality. And women will use sex as a tool to get men into a relationship. There's a saying someone once said that I agree with. Women use sex for a relationship, men use relationship for sex, right? So women lure guys into a relationship with sex, guys lure women, into having sex with the promise of a relationship, right? It's weird, and it's kind of our nature, but here's the thing. If you really want to have a relationship with somebody, if you really want to have love with somebody, don't put sex first. Don't just be trying to have sex. And for women, if you really want to have love in a relationship with somebody, don't put money first. I want to, the guy with the most money. Like, that's a surefire way not to find love. Unfortunately, how women are and how men are is they use that. Like, okay, I'll love you and move in with you as long as you got the money. And the guy's like, okay, I'll pay for you as long as you move in with me and be intimate with me. It's this weird exchange, and many people are content with that, and I would say people like red pill guys are actually purists, right? We are